5. Commercial ability. As mentioned under attribute 3 above, on all your projects where you were the lead designer, you closely monitored progress and expenditure against the design program and budget. The better to forecast completion dates and final outturn costs. Stop. You knew how charge-out rates and time cost charges were made up. Stop. You were familiar with the design framework agreement under which most of your design work was carried out and were able to explain why the FIDIC Red Book was used on the EWS project in Turkey. Stop. Your reviewers would like to have seen greater evidence of your commercial management of the construction phase of the projects on which you were engaged, but were nonetheless satisfied that you met the requirements of the commercial ability attribute at the ING level. Stop. 6. Health, safety and welfare. You are aware of the governing legislation for construction work, open brackets, the Factory Acts and the Health and Safety at Work Act, close brackets, and of the designer's responsibilities under CDM 2015, stop. You prepared designer's risk assessments on all your projects, seeking wherever possible to eliminate risks in preference to merely controlling or managing them. Stop. For example, you tried always to avoid the need for operatives to enter confined spaces such as valve chambers and dry wells for operational purposes, open brackets, that is, excluding construction, by using motorised controls or enabling them to be operated from above ground. Stop. Otherwise, you specified appropriate confined space working procedures such as gas detection and monitoring, harnesses, the use of harnesses and means of escape. Stop. You remarked on the different safety standards from those in the UK that were applied in Turkey, noting that some of the working practices you saw you would not tolerate on your projects in the UK. Stop. Your reviewers were satisfied that you met the requirements of the health, safety and welfare attribute. 7. Sustainable development. You accepted that the work of maintaining in service an ageing water distribution infrastructure was an inherent example of sustainable development, and that costs of repair, addition or replacing the system, augmenting or replacing the system had to be constantly measured and acted upon. Stop. Your reviewers were pleased to note that you thought water authorities were not so diligent as they should be in controlling leakage from their assets of such a precious resource as fresh water, and you tried wherever possible to counter this in your work. Stop. Your reviewers were satisfied that you met the requirements of the sustainable development attribute. Stop. 8. Interpersonal skills and communication. Your report, including your DAP and CPD records, your presentation and answers to questions were interesting, relevant and reasonably well presented. You communicated well with reviewers during the interview and coped well with the occasional inadvertent problems with the communications. Stop. Your presentation was easy to understand with sufficient narrative and illustration. Stop. You were asked about your views on diversity issues within the civil engineering industry in general, and the water industry in particular, and replied that diversity that although both were working towards a more inclusive environment, there was still more work to be done. Stop. You were willing, although you had not encountered very much of it, you had a very low tolerance of inappropriate behaviour or language towards minorities. Stop. Your reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the interpersonal skills and communication attribute. Stop. As mentioned under attribute 8 above, your CPD records show a variety of development activities. Stop. You had attended several ICE lectures on sustainable development, foundation design, and were affected by trunk main installation works, and also on the background to the low carbon project that you are presently working on. Stop. Of the 6 main clauses of the ICE Code of Conduct, you regarded integrity and the well-being of future generations as probably the most important. You mentored several graduates who were new to Thames Water on the functions and procedures of the water industry, and had yourself attended several courses on membership of the ICE. Stop. When asked why you were only now applying for membership of the ICE, stop, you said that it was basically due to a lack of confidence in your ability to meet the requirements of all the attributes hitherto, but that if you were successful on this occasion, you would work towards eventually becoming a chartered engineer. Your reviewers are satisfied that you met the requirements of the professional commitment attribute. Stop.